So every day you are surviving your BS job, but how do you get out of it? How do you get away from this thing? It takes absolute focus. Absolute focus. Okay, you're going to want to do a dozen things all at once, but no, stop. Don't do that. You have to pick one thing, get good at it, and then move on to the next thing. And all the while, you have to manage your energy because you can't run at a sprint forever. You'll go into burnout and you'll just return to video games and not get anything done. Okay? Bear with me for a second. You have to choose one thing at a time, focus on that thing until you're good at it. So in my case, I want to move towards data engineering, right? But I can't go straight to data engineering. I don't have experience in the data field, that side of tech, okay? So what I have to do is be a data analyst first, right? So what does a data analyst do? SQL, visualizations, dashboards, right? I don't know Power BI yet. So what am I doing? Power BI. I'm focusing on that. I want to be working on my website. I want to be building out features for that. Let's update that UI because it clearly needs help. Like there are so many other things I could be doing right now. No, what I need to move towards is data engineering. This is like 5 years out, okay? So in the next year or two, I need to get into the data analyst position. So now what am I doing? Power BI. Just take the data that I have, plug it into Power BI, make some pretty pictures. Learn how to, anyway. And is it my favorite thing? No. It's kind of cool to learn. It's like Excel on steroids. I'm making some pretty pictures, but every day that I'm working, I'm just doing Power BI. Yes, there's this bug I need to squash over on investment highlights. And yes, the site still looks like it was made in 1995. Yes, there's a lot of other things I could be doing. But right now, repeat after me, one thing at a time. Power BI. Again and again and again until it's like my hands. You know, I know exactly what to do with my hands at any given moment. With the eyes closed, I can still touch my eye. I know exactly how to use my hands. And I realize that's a terrible example because there's a lot more involved with touching something with your eyes closed. But I'm familiar with my hands. That's the level of expertise you have to get to with the one thing at a time. That's how I've advanced in my career. That's how I've advanced in personal relationships, fitness, with anything at all. It's the one thing at a time. If I want to get better at squatting, right, I'm going to have to squat 3+ times a week, depending on your program. Yeah, whatever. But if I want to get better at squatting, I'm not over there doing bench press. It doesn't help my squat numbers. Argue all you want. It's the same idea in your career. To get out, map out where you want to go. What do you want to end up doing? I want to be a data engineer. Way off. Future. If it takes me 10 years, you can crap on me in the comments down below. Great, great, great. It'll take 10 years. I'll make it work. But step one to get there, I need to get into the data side of things. So I've mapped out where I want to go and I understand kind of, right, how to get there. So step one, I got to become a data analyst. So I'm working on that first step to get there. That's what you have to do. You have to know where you want to go, which is a terrible riddle because a lot of times you have no idea what it is you actually want to do. It's more about what you don't want. You know what I mean? Like you have this job and there's things that maybe you like about it or some stuff that you really don't like. And so it pushes you towards something else. And then you learn in job number 2, like, oh, I actually don't like this. It's a lot like crossing a room and you hit the wall and then you turn around and go towards another wall. So you're learning a lot about what you don't like and it kind of illuminates what you do like. So you just got to do stuff until you figure out what it is you want to do, right? Very, very simple, but time consuming. So map out where you want to go, figure out how to get there, and then focus on that first step. Just the one thing. You will finish it. You will get past that first step, but it'll feel like it takes forever. It'll feel frustrating. Sitting down and learning or building the thing, whatever it is, carpentry, learning how to measure and cut just properly. It's always difficult when you're just focused on the one thing because you know that in front of you is a plethora of different tools, subjects, whatever skills that you still have to cover. And so the second part of all this, there's focus, there's knowing where you want to go, but you also need to not count the costs. You need to not think about what it's going to take, or how much it's going to cost you, or how much time it'll take, or how many different things you need to become a master of, right? Don't think about that. Don't think about what it's costing you. You should measure the opportunity cost in the sense of, if I'm focusing on data engineering, I'm not going to be a back end developer, right? If I'm going to be a bodybuilder, I'm probably not going to be in the NBA. Like, you should be aware of that. But don't think about, if I'm going to be a bodybuilder, I'm probably going to be in the gym 3 hours a day for the next 4 years. That's a lot. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of effort. You're not going to do it. You're not going to get up and do it. You're not going to keep doing it. You're going to burn out and go, you know what? It's not worth it, because there's too much to do. There's too much time involved, too much effort, too much headaches and frustration and hitting your head against the wall of stuff not working out. But you're focused on one thing at a time to get there and not thinking about the costs. And eventually, those little steps towards victory, the 1 day of progress and 1 day of progress and 1 day of progress, eventually you have a year's worth of progress, and you look back and you go, oh my gosh, 365 days of just killing it, of doing awesome stuff, of growing as a person and getting closer to that escape from the BS job. So, hope that helps.